We are TIWLT, the Thousand Islands Watershed Land Trust. All of this and much more makes up the Thousand Islands Watershed Land Trust. Arguably, the most important land trust in North America. Why? 85 million people live within a 6-hour drive. The pressure for development has become intense, and what many are unaware of is this is North America's most important migration route for plants and animals. The St. Lawrence River narrows here, and the Thousand Islands provide an opportunity for animals to hop-skip across on their way between the Adirondack Mountains and the Canadian Shield. This is TIWLT territory, home to dozens of endangered or at-risk species. Many make wetlands or the land around them their home and breeding ground. Over the last 200 years, 90% of the area's wetlands have disappeared. Today, TIWLT is working to save and repair what remains by focusing on key properties and to protect this area forever.
One of the things that is needed in conservation work is a guarantee for the future. A lot of things that change with policy can change with the government, but at TIWLT, what we do is forever. So when you do something for TIWLT, you are doing something for your children and your children's children.
Calder Schweitzer is a biologist and executive director of TIWLT. Through acquisition and conservation, TIWLT offers solutions that work for everyone and everything.
It's weird to have a relationship with a salamander or with a fish or with a piece of grass, but it really is a reciprocal thing, because when we conserve the habitat for these species to live, they in turn provide ecosystem services back to us. What that means is when something goes through the Ecological Gifts program, we as TIWLT are then legally obligated to protect it forever.
Bob and Paula Street live in the Thousand Islands. Their island property, complete with a large marsh, has been in their family for 112 years.
And that marsh is so beautiful.
When you enjoy a place year after year, decade after decade, you think about keeping it together. You think about keeping it in the family. You don't think about giving it away. But there comes a time in life where you have to face the fact that you need to do succession planning. And then you discover that there's taxes associated with all of your property. In fact, our first thought was we'd have to sell something in order to cover the taxes. Fortunately, we met a realtor who said, I would love to list this for you, but I want you to talk to the land trust first. So we did. We include our children in our decisions, and when we told them we were considering this land trust option, they all said go for it. It was the right thing for them as well as for us. Obviously, someday this place will be sold. I don't know if it's our children at the end of their lives, but if we could lock up a nice piece of property with a beautiful marsh into a land trust that will be there forever, that's almost more important than keeping it in the family, which isn't as permanent as the land trust will make it.
People need nature in their lives. They need to be able to go out and see the trees and the dirt, and they need to get their hands dirty.
Land trusts are important simply because we need to trust the land, and if all land is viewed for commercial purposes, there's an exploitation of the land to turn it into capital and revenue. The notion of a trust is land for land's sake.
Ironwood Organics is a TIWLT partner. Owner Chris Wooding farms it organically and freely shares his knowledge with farm visitors. He shares an interesting story that connects directly to the St. Lawrence River.
One of the pieces of our property is a provincially significant wetland, the PSW, and in agreement with the provincial government, in exchange for free taxes on that piece of land, to A, not destroy the wetland, and B, to try and enhance its productivity and conservancy, We've had tremendous flooding down in the St. Lawrence 2 of the last 3 years, and a lot of that moisture that's in the St. Lawrence should be on the farm here. So one of our goals is moisture retention. I know it's difficult to think of flooding on the St. Lawrence being caused by what we're doing on this, tiny farm, but when you add all the farms together and all the wetlands together, it's, a big contributing factor. We've lost well over 90% of our wetlands in southeastern Ontario, and that's a massive contributing factor to the flooding in the St. Lawrence, that we've lost our sponges.
Sari Cross and husband Peter Blaney connected with TIWLT after purchasing their 112-acre property.
The reason why we wanted to donate this land was that we're attached to it. We feel an emotion to the land and the landscape and the trees and the biodiversity and the wildlife. And we want that to continue for other generations to be able to enjoy forever. There's a lot of diversity in our land. We have ponds, we have a little stream, we have a hayfield, we have a meadow, we have forested areas. We have a number of species that are at risk that we've found here. Painted turtles, snapping turtles, we've seen meadowlarks. I also think it's important that we have a little river, a little stream going down into the St. Lawrence, which filters nutrients from off the farmlands around the area. Don't leave it up to your governments. Do your own thing. Do what you can do.
If you've only got $50 in your pocket, it still makes a difference. We can nickel and dime our way into saving an endangered species in this area, and that's really what I want to get across. Every little bit really does help. The 1,000-acre challenge is our challenge to ourselves to increase the amount of land that we hold and protect by an additional 1,000 acres. This means that we need more donations, we need more volunteers, we need more people engaging with the Land Trust, and this is where we ask you for help. Please visit our website, give us a call, make a donation, and volunteer, because this is how this stuff gets done, is with the support from the community and from you.
TIWLT is land, learning, life, and legacies. TIWLT is the Thousand Islands Watershed Land Trust, and it's forever.